The Battales. Episode 2, The Precinct Murders. Part 1. It was a hot summer evening in 1982 when Detective Jack Thompson was called to investigate the murder of a local police officer at the back of a diner. As Thompson arrived at the crime scene, he was struck by the brutality of the attack. The officer had been shot multiple times at close range and left to die in the street. Detective Thompson spent the next week scouring the city for any leads or clues that might help him solve the case. But as the days went by, another 2 policemen turned up murdered in the same manner and the killer remained elusive. The city was in a state of panic. Thompson was determined to catch the killer and bring him to justice. He spent long hours at the precinct, poring over evidence and following up on leads. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't seem to get ahead of the case. Then, one night, he received a call from an anonymous tipster. The person claimed to have information about the killer, but would only speak to Thompson in person. Intrigued, Thompson arranged to meet the tipster at a deserted warehouse on the outskirts of town. As he arrived, he noticed a figure standing in the shadows. It was a young woman, her face hidden by a hooded sweatshirt. "I think I know who the killer is," she said, her voice trembling. "But you have to promise to protect me." Thompson promised to keep her safe, and the woman revealed that she had seen the killer from afar when he had just murdered an officer. She could not see his face due to it being dark, but she noticed an important detail. He had a police officer's uniform as well, and he walked with a limp. "I think he noticed me staring at him. This is why I could not come to the precinct to give a statement," she explained. Thompson knew he had to act fast. He thanked the woman for her bravery and promised to keep her safe before rushing back to the precinct. As he arrived, he gathered his trusted officers together and disclosed the new findings of the case. He asked them to be discreet as he suspected that the killer is one of the officers or probably a retired officer. They were asked to look for currently employed officers who might have a limp in their steps or track down any dismissed or retired officers with a similar description. The team worked tirelessly, tracking down every lead and following every clue. Thompson was sure that they were getting closer to the killer, but time was running out. Another week had passed and another cop found murdered, and they were not getting any closer to apprehending a suspect. A few nights later, Thompson received a call from one of his officers. "We've got a hit," the officer said. "There's an ex-officer, Mark Holloway, who was dismissed from the force after he was embroiled in a physical brawl with his fellow officers. He walked with a limp and he fits the description and seems to have a motive against the police." Thompson knew they had their man. He gathered a team and headed to Mark's registered address, guns drawn. When they barged into the house through the front door, they found the place completely deserted except for a note addressed to Jack Thompson. The Battales.